We're here in Mosaic County. I'm Granvil Travis, farm with my dad and my uncle. We're Travis Brothers Farm. I'm going to show you a little bit of what I do in the crop side of the farming operation. Maybe do some trials with some biologicals. Learn what not to do at least.
So I'm here with Zach, my son, here at our grain setup, talking about biologicals today with Mosaic.
First, let me show you around the farm here. Here on the south side of the big barn, we've got some feeder hogs that I'm feeding out. I always try to feed a few hogs out every year. Max is running over there to take a sniff of him for a minute. Got our barn with all of our feeding equipment in it at the moment. Got our semi, it's a Sterling with a dump trailer, all lime and grain off to the granary. Quonset is pretty well where I work out of. That's got all my shelves with all my parts.
Biologicals have to stay warm, so once they're in storage here, they will be brought into this building because it's heated. This is one of our planter tractors. We have two planter units that are set up identical. These are old Kinsey 2006 vintage planters that we have rebuilt dozens of times. Part of our soil health deal here is to avoid compaction and to keep the planters as light as possible. And these planters are fitted completely with precision planting equipment, electric meters. We decided to get into the drone deal for areas that we want to spray in season where the corn might be too tall or the field might be too wet. We use two high clearance sprayers in our operation, but this is going to be mostly for spot spraying and for test plot work. So if we want to do a strip of something, this is easier to do than to call the airplane because they want to put 150 acres in a load, and here we can do a smaller amount, smaller area.
We've been pondering the idea around for a couple years, so finally decided to jump into it. I've got a lot of educating to do on it. I'll be the one flying it, so yeah, wish me luck. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we don't want to wreck it.
One thing that got me started on biologicals was just some of the things I'd learned in the Total Acre program. Trying a few different things this year, and I tried Bopath last year, and I'm gonna try it on some lower fertility ground, some hill ground this upcoming year, whereas last year I just tried it on a field with a good APH, and just kind of see where it may have a place on our farm, and if it does, then great, we'll add it to our program, and if not, we'll test something else. You can kind of see right here in the old river bottom area here. It's mostly flat, but it does have some ridges to it. We got some gumbo bottoms, and some lower areas is white dirt. And we've got sand ridges and silty loam soils. So we're pretty complex on soil types. I mean, we can go across 4 or 5 soil types with one planter pass across the quarter-mile field. Now this cornfield that we're coming up on here on our right is where the Bopath trial was. Right now we're west of my aunt's. This is where I had the Bopath trial last year. This will probably be where this goes again. Right now the corn's kind of behind me to my right, and the beans was to my left behind me. So next year we'll just flip-flop and probably just keep that going and see how the Bopath does again next year in the higher fertility, higher yield area. Maybe the next time you all see this, it'll actually have something green in it instead of snow, and it'll be a nice warm spring day.
Field 23 is right here. That's this farm. It's 165 acres tillable here, and we are in the Bopath field. I mean, the field is right behind me. That hill that you see to our left is actually a low organic, probably 1 to 2% organic matter. The Bopath went through that, and in between those two sand knobs is some really heavy black dirt, and that's a higher organic matter soil. Then to the right of us is very high organic, a peat moss type soil. This farm is well drained. We pump the water off of it. The reason we picked this for the Bopath was for the soil variation, and obviously with the data that we collect, we can look at each one of those soil grids and overlay the yield map, and with a calibrated yield monitor, we can see the differences.
Kind of the thought process behind that was, let's see how it does in really rich live soil versus more dead soil.
The high production black soil here has extremely high carbon burst numbers, which is generally conducive to having high biology numbers. And surprising to all of us, it worked in an area that we just didn't think needed any biological help. The Bopath has filled a slot that's missing in the biology of this high production soil.
When I signed up with Mosaic Ag to do this year throughout the growing season, I guess I'm just going to try to show you what's working on our farm, what ain't working on our farm, and try to be honest and open with you, so we'll be able to take this all the way to harvest and see if we have a yield difference or not.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. He already took his coat off, so I guess he's ready to do some office work. I still have mine on, so I need to get back out there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yes, we will.